Same time. Same time. All right, we're ready. Richard, you ready?
All right. Good Friday morning, everyone. How y'all doing? There we go. A little clapping. That's right. Maybe a little bit too much breakfast this morning. You guys all snuggled in. A little chilly in here this morning. Feels good, though. Feels a lot better than outside does. So, yeah. But anyway, today is Friday, July 28th, 2023. I think last week I said February, and I'm still catching heck for that.
Let's give Dave a round of applause for getting the month right this morning.
Yes. Man, tough crowd, but I got some applause. Yeah, that's good. So Bill was kind of shocked when I said it. And really, when I said February last week, I was really thinking November. And I go, it's not November. It's February. No. So what happens when you get older, Johnny? Look at what you got to look forward to, buddy.
Can't wait.
Yeah, I know you can't. So anyway. No, but good Friday morning, and remember, everybody, this is your guys' safety meeting and your meeting in general. So if you got questions today, comments, whatever, make sure you let us know. We got a jam-packed schedule. Looking forward to a lot of good speakers coming up here, and I think you're in for a treat. So, but before we get to that, let's go on out to our terminals. Let's start out in Salt Lake City, Utah. We have Mr. Aaron Ward with us.
Good morning, gentlemen. Yes, I am with you. Everything's great in Salt Lake. We're still experiencing very high temperatures out here. So as I talked about last week, remember to check those reefers, make sure that those are working well, keeping our freight cool. And this morning, I'm going to have a special guest come up. I've got Mr. Tyler Patrick from our shop out here. He's going to give us a quick update.
All right. Sounds good.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me real quick. I don't want to take up too much time, but I just want to kind of give a quick shop update, kind of where we're at. Right now we're in a big spot for trailers. We're trying to do as much as we can to get trailers out. We have a big list of trailers that need to get worked in. A lot of these trailers are needing rebuild. So we have had some issues with getting empties out shortly. We've made a lot of adjustments in our shop group to try and, maximize the amount of empties we can get out for you guys, doing the work that's only required to get the trailers back on the road so we can keep up with this freight. So in trailers, we're kind of backed up. We got a lot going on. There's not a whole lot of capacity, and there is those, issues with getting trailers out. But we're working on that. We're getting it taken care of. We'll do what we can to get you guys a trailer. On the truck side, however, we have a lot of opportunities. I just talked to Jorge out in our tractor shop, and, we're actually booking for tonight. We have appointments opened up over the evening shift. We have a lot of opportunities for work-ins. So if you're here in Salt Lake, or you're planning on coming through, or maybe over the next couple of weeks, you have an opportunity to get through, you need to get something on your truck, by all means, hit us up. Come through the assessment bay, go see Jackie. We get a lot of awesome reviews. She does a great job out there of taking care of you guys, making sure you understand what's going on with your equipment, identifying anything that maybe you guys might have looked over, and giving you an opportunity to get in the shop, maybe do some of those quick repairs in the meantime. So, like I said, we have a lot of opportunities for truck work. So if you're needing something, or you're working with road assist and there's not an opportunity over the road, or maybe the time frame to get into a shop's a little bit extended, give us a shout, see where we're at, try and get with your fleet manager, work out this way, and we'd love the opportunity to take a look at your truck for you and help you get back up on the road with as least expenses as possible and reducing your downtime. So anyways, that's all I've got today. I really appreciate the opportunity, guys. And like I said, come see us. We got lots of opportunities for your truck work. So thank you.
Hey, Tyler, real quick, does that include body shop work and all that too as well?
Hey, no. So actually, body shop, we've done some onboarding. We got a trainee back there now. His name's Jose. He's doing a great job. So we have some production constraints on body shop, but tractor work specifically in our truck shop, we have all kinds of opportunities. So
awesome. Any questions for Tyler? Anybody here in Springfield or Pittston, Salt Lake? Now's the time to ask him. All right, man. Well, good deal. What do you got for us? Yeah, thanks you. Man. Thanks for talking. Appreciate it. Back to Aaron.
Thanks, guys. We're good out here. We'll shoot it back to you.
All right. Let's go to the other part of the country. Let's go out east. Maybe it's a little cooler out there, John. We'll find out. Let's go out to Pittston, Pennsylvania. We'll see Rick Iffert. Good morning, Rick.
Hey, good morning. It is a little cooler out here. We're not in the 90s yet, but we're going to be heading there today and tomorrow, and weekend's supposed to be really nice here. So, yeah, we're going to enjoy the weather while we can.
Well, good deal. I think it starts like in the 100, 110 or so out west, and it just kind of gravitates towards the Midwest, and maybe it runs out of steam before it gets to you guys. So you get off pretty easily out there on the East Coast. So, but what's going on in Pittston this week?
we haven't seen any 100-degree weather this year, so I'm okay with that. This week was not too bad. Orientation kind of light. We're reworking the pad down there. We're painting the parking lot, doing some relining for some new training stuff that's going to be going on down there. Trailer situation around here is not too bad. We do have a lot of trailers on the yard, about 220, but we still have room for some parking. Be limited to what you're doing up here. We don't load freight here at this terminal or any terminal. So if you got an empty trailer coming this way, get with your fleet manager and find out where he wants that trailer dropped at a customer, where we can load it.
Awesome. Good deal. So any questions you guys have today or comments you need to make, Rick, make sure you get them on the microphone. Let us know. Love to have you.
Hey, we sure will. We appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate you guys too. So back here in Springfield, good morning, everyone. It's not bad. We're kind of light on the crowd today. So
This corner did not participate really in that good morning. So we're going to keep our eye on you over there.
there we go. We got Dee over there. She's carrying them. All right. So a few people I need to recognize this morning that runs this show and make sure we're able to have this program and this safety meeting. To my left, we got Mitch and Jamie over here. They're sending it out on LinkedIn, Facebook Live, YouTube, all that stuff. So they're handling that. If you're out there listening to us, you're not able to attend at one of our terminals, make sure you send them questions. If you got questions coming in, send it to them. And thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you're parked, and that's the way we want it to be. All of our drivers out there are running freight down the road. Thank you for doing what you do and carrying us. That's the name of the game in trucking, and picking it up on time, delivering it on time, and doing it safely. So thank you for doing that as well. To my right, your left, we got Brian and Richard over here. They're the IT gurus of this. So wasn't for them, we wouldn't be having a meeting. So John and I, we're not smart enough to figure out that end of it. So we would struggle very much. So, but we got a good support team up here, and thank you. Next, I'd like to recognize all of our new folks this week, our new associates in-house, and also all of our drivers. As this is your first week of orientation, Springfield, Salt Lake, or Pittston, if you could please stand, we'd love to give you a round of applause. So stand on up, all the new folks. Well, welcome to Prime. This morning, I'm privileged to have Mr. John Harden up here with me. John works in our safety department. You've done a number of different jobs in-house, but it's great to have you back. You were off last week. You were off the week before, I think, too. You had 2 Fridays off. How'd you pull that one?
I just put Friday that I'm off and then let you and Dennis do the meeting.
Or Bill. I had Bill last week. That was good.
Watch it on my phone.
So, yeah, so good deal. You watched us, actually.
I did a little bit.
Good deal. So what do we got for safety numbers this morning?
All right. Well, good morning, everybody. First, I wanted to say welcome to Prime. If this is your first week, we had a pretty big group stand up. So we appreciate you choosing Prime. We think you made the right decision, and hopefully the longer that you're here, the more you realize that. So we're very transparent. Just want to be open and upfront about that. These badges that you have will get you into any door here, any time of day. When you're here on the yard, always come in, say hi to your fleet manager, meet your payroll associate, your road assist associate. Make sure you've got good working relationships with them, because those are the lifeline of your business. So, welcome, and we'll get into these safety numbers this morning. So this week we did a total of 132 inspections. We had 79 clean. So we had a 60% pass rate. So give yourselves a round of applause for that. So a couple of things I'm going to mention that I saw on the inspections this week. A little bit more than I normally do. I saw speeding violations, and these were speeding, 6 to 10. I think there was one 15 over. So obviously with our trucks governed, this isn't going down the interstate. These are, coming into small towns, not seeing speed limit signs, construction zones, anything like that. Please be on the lookout for that. Obviously it's still construction season. And one thing that we mentioned in the weekly safety staple yesterday is schools getting ready to come back in session across the country. Usually that's in August. I know out west in California, I've seen some friends out there that their kids are already back in school. So some areas of the country it's already in, but with that, right, we're going to see school zone speed limits. So we're going to make sure we want to watch out for those flashing lights, especially in the morning and the afternoon when schools are getting in and letting out. And also be aware that the bus routes are going to be back out there, right? So they're going to have kids they're picking up. Make sure that you're always giving school buses ample following distance, traveling safe speeds. Never go around a school bus whenever it's stopped, preparing to stop, anything like that. Very dangerous. So just be aware of that. As kids start going back into school, you'll start seeing that traffic in the mornings and the afternoons. So next thing we've got, wanted to talk a little bit about, are we going to bring up the highway diamond now?
Yeah, we will hear that, but
Okay.
I just wanted to piggyback real quick on what John said about construction areas. This past week, we've had a couple accidents. They weren't our fault, but it's four-wheelers trying to race around you. You know, you're coming up to a construction zone. Many times this time of year, they got one lane shut down, so you're going down a one-lane interstate, so to speak, and here comes this four-wheeler trying to beat you because they want to get in front of you. They don't want to be behind that truck. And, pay attention to that situation. If that's coming up and you see one coming and they're really gassing on it, you may be better off just getting on your brakes, slowing up a little bit, letting them get in front of you because you don't want to get tangled up with them. And that's what's happened with a couple of those this week where they tried to pass us. And I think one car hit a couple cones and then all of a sudden kind of got the front end of our truck too. And yeah, it was their fault. But at the end of the day, you got an accident. And then on top of that, you have to get your truck fixed and you're going to have to bring it in here and there's going to be some downtime. And we fight, our subrogation department fights really hard for downtime here. And so you can get paid for not working or you're getting paid for not having a truck. But some insurance companies are really tough on that too. And so be aware of that. You're better off not being involved in the accident than having an accident, even if it's somebody else's fault. You don't want to do that because you tangle up with a car, somebody could get hurt very easily, and we don't want to go down that road neither as well. So, Darla, do you have a question or Dwayne?
In that situation, is that considered a preventable or no?
No, in that situation, if car's trying to beat you, that's a non-preventable accident. But, go ahead, John. You want to jump in?
Kind of along those lines, we've seen videos come in from one of our drivers that said, hey, this guy ran into me, and it's usually maybe at a truck stop or somebody's backing out, or this guy almost backed into me, and we have dash cam footage, and maybe we're pulling through a truck stop or a customer, and you see somebody backing out, 75 yards in front of you, and our driver doesn't really slow down until it's right up on the other guy backing out. I mean, we don't want to, I think Dennis calls them ego accidents. If somebody's if you guys are trying to get to the same spot, I mean, we want to avoid a collision at all costs. So, even if they're in the wrong, we want to prevent it if at all possible. So
staying out of that accident, that's the name of the game right there, no matter what the situation is. And John said, if you see somebody backing up to a dock, just give them some room. Just stay back, wait, give them a break. And, hopefully in return, they'll do the same thing to you or their company will do the same thing if you get in that situation. So, just don't force the issue. But another one, too, this time of year, we still got some vacationers going on out there, got people on vacation. Remember that, families, moms and dads that may not be paying attention to the road. So be paying attention to them because they're not in this game all the way. And you'll see, you guys have the perfect view to see, distracted driving because many times they got the cell phone up on the steering wheel or they're watching a movie and the whole family's watching a movie, including the driver, which is extremely dangerous. They're not paying attention to your truck. So pay attention to them, make sure they get away from you, and that's fine. The further out they can go, that's the best bet, and so you don't have to deal with that. And finally, our last item here we had to talk this morning is about summer storms. We really harp on and we talk a lot about our winter driving and being prepared for that. But even in the summertime, you need to be prepared for summer thunderstorms and tornadoes and such. So be listening to that radio. If the skies start turning dark and it's not looking right, get on that radio station, local station, see what's going on. If you got major thunderstorm coming up, possibly heavy winds, lightning, maybe possibility of tornadoes, you're probably better off just to park the truck and find a safe location, truck stop rest area, and park and sit and wait it out rather than trying to deal with it going down the road because we don't want you to get involved in one of those and then you have issues maybe with traffic or with the thunderstorm causing damage to your truck. So, but keep that in mind as well. So, got anything else to add there, Jim?
I don't. I think we covered everything we touched on with the storms and the weekly safety staple. So for anybody that doesn't know, on the Prime app in your messages, there's a weekly safety staple that comes out typically on Thursdays, and it should be in your news feed. Speaking of that, we mentioned Brianna and Richard earlier, if you have any questions about the Prime app and you're here in the terminal, these two folks are the experts. Make sure you come up and ask them. Dave and I can help you to an extent. Your fleet managers can with finding permits and different things like that. But these two are the experts. So take advantage of that while you're here.
All right. So good info. We're going to move along. This morning, we're proud to have we got recognized this week. One of our drivers did, John Adams, as being a highway angel. So John, come on up here, man. So yeah, give him a round of applause. Yep. So this week we found out John won a Highway Angel through the Truckload Carriers Association. He's awarded a Highway Angel. And tell us what happened on your situation. Highway Angel's very special. You usually render an aid. It's seen of maybe an accident or something happens. Go ahead and tell us what happened in your situation, John.
I was just driving and a car just swerved real fast into another lane and it sent another vehicle right into the ditch. And 200-300 feet in front of me, this car just did flip after flip after flip right in the ditch next to me. So I immediately was like, oh, I don't want to be part of that. And then once I recognized that I didn't have to worry about being involved in the accident, I got over, called 911, told police exactly where I was because the Garmin trucking GPS tells you exactly what mile marker you're at. Then I got out and rendered aid. I helped pull a guy out of the car and I had to pick him up and bring him over to the highway because he was just broken real bad and hurting and he couldn't walk and the vehicle was about to start on fire. So it was a moment. It was more glorified because of the dash cam caught it, but they all lived and they all went to the hospital with some pretty bad broken bones and bruises and stuff.
So you use a dash cam all the time in your truck?
Oh, always. That's how you protect us. Protect us out there is make sure, somebody doesn't make a false claim. You got it on dash cams. So,
there you go. Good point. So how long have you been driving for Prime?
2 years, come February. So
And you come through the PSD program, did you?
Yep. PSD program. Yep.
Awesome. So many of you out there, give them a round of applause. Yeah, no doubt. Yep. Hold on, you're not done yet. So who's your fleet manager? Ryan?
Ryan. Yeah.
Ryan Boyer?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
How's he do for you? Pretty good?
He's pretty good. I'm still feeling him out. He's new. Brandon Austin was before he stepped in. I'm feeling him out. It takes a while to figure out your fleet manager. I try to give them their chance.
It does. Yeah, it's a business.
He's making me money, so I'm happy. So.
Yeah, and Ryan's relatively new, but he's doing a good job here. And you take your licks every once in a while, but you learn and you work with each other. That's the best way to do it. So no doubt. So have you had any other special training or anything regarding emergencies, or is this just? You told me all of a sudden it happened. You decided to pull over. It's like what's in the back? What's rolling in the back of your head?
I'm ex-military, TACP. I was in Afghanistan, and so we have all the military training. And then when you get out of the military as an infantry, you kind of get told, well, the only thing you could be is a cop. So I went through the whole law enforcement thing, and then doing that in Minnesota, you got to go through a 2-year degree and go through EMS and all this other stuff. And then I realized I didn't want to be a cop after I had everything to be one. And I ended up becoming a trucker afterwards. So.
And what do you think of it so far? 2.5 years in, what do you think?
It's fun. I could yell all the obscenities I want in my cab, and I don't have HR yelling at me for saying something to somebody because it's nice and quiet and nobody can hear outside my truck. So,
There you go. You're your own boss going down the
yeah,
road, so.
exactly. So
That's right. So, any questions for John while he's up here? Oh.
Is your dash camera the one inside your Garmin? Is that the one you use inside the Garmin?
no, I actually have a separate Garmin camera that I bought that I invested in. It was like less than $200. They're fairly inexpensive. It integrates with all of the Garmin stuff that I have. I have the Garmin 1010, the biggest one that they got. And I use that because traffic will tell me what updates are coming, if there's slow traffic, animals on the road, things like that. It'll tell me even way stations are coming. So it's probably one of the most important pieces of equipment you can buy for your truck after you get your lease is having that professional equipment to tell you what's going on. Funny that I mentioned that because I noticed literally the day that they told me I was being awarded that Angel Highway Award, that same day, another truck wasn't watching. The highway was backed up. I was getting like 1 hour delay, things like that. And he slammed right into 5 vehicles right there. And that was another time I had to run out and go help. And it was like, why is this happening to me? I don't know what's going on. So yeah, that equipment, the Garmin is huge as well as having a dash cam. It's worth the investment, I promise you. So. yeah.
Well, we really appreciate it. And it makes our company very proud to have you and then win this Highway Angel Award. And it qualifies you for the National Highway Angel Award too, through the TCA. So you'll have a shot at that, and best of luck to you as well. Now, you mentioned you were in the military. What branch were you in, did you say?
I was in the Air Force with TACP, Tactical Air Control Party. Our job is to live and breathe with the Army. We have to sign waivers. We won't live on Air Force bases. We live with the Army at all times. We call in close proximity bombs near friendly forces if we have to, in case the Army finds something they can't deal with. So that was I only did 4 years, so, and then I got
Were you
out.
overseas on that too?
Well, I went to Afghanistan, but
Okay.
I also had other tours. I went to Cobra Gold in Thailand and went to Osan in South Korea. I was all over, so.
How'd those Army guys treat you? Pretty good?
They hate us until we start dropping bombs and when during practice, and then they're like, "Oh, we love you." You know, they always call us Air Force and hate us, but you know, when the plane and the air shows up and a lot of big booms going on, and they get to sit back on the field and enjoy the explosions, well, then they love us and give us pats on our back. So you know,
You make the way a little bit easier going out there, don't you? So that's
Yeah, a
good.
little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, that's good.
I guess so. So since we're talking about veterans, if anybody has served in the past, you're a veteran. We do support veterans here, so can you please rise and get a round of applause? And thank you for serving. We appreciate you here at Prime. I know they always talk about that, so thank you.
Thank you for your service, John. Thank you for your award too. Congratulations again. Good job.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
That is. It's going to be hard to follow.
Yeah, no doubt. That's why we got Colby and Rachel coming in
Yeah.
next. Yeah,
Sacrificial lambs here.
There you go. Colby's back there drinking his coffee. He's getting pumped up. So go ahead and introduce.
Yeah. So we'll bring up our first speakers today. We're going to bring up Colby and Rachel with our driver health and fitness department.
Rachel's right there.
Surprise.
Hey, everybody. Good morning. So I'm Colby with our driver health and fitness department. This is Rachel.
Good morning.
Rachel's our dietitian on site. These last few weeks, we've been kind of like getting in front of you guys, let you know how our challenge is going. Our summer stride, which is the walking competition we're doing between in-house and driver. You can see here, thanks, Brian. On our website, you can see kind of how the challenge is going. I think currently drivers, you guys are blowing in-house out of the water. Keep it up. Love to see it. I want to say it's like 3,300 miles for the drivers. And then also for in-house is just getting close to 1,000. We're getting close. So we're catching some momentum. But again, that is as simple as you get out there, you walk a mile or whatever you walk, and then just get directly on the website. You can click where it says driver or in-house, and then just submit your miles like that. Real simple. It's just something kind of fun. We want to see how fast we can get there. The other thing I want to show from the website, if you can, Brianne's doing it right there. Rachel, go ahead and talk about that one for us.
Yeah, so you can get to our website by going to your Prime mobile app and going to on-site services and then just clicking driver health and fitness, or you can just Google driverhealthandfitness.com and it'll bring you there. And on the top menu bar that's going to pop up on your phone, you click menu, and then we have a services button. So under that there's a bunch of great ways to reach us under that services button, but there's also a recipes tab. And Brianna's going to show you that there on the screen. And you can filter according to whatever cooking equipment you have on the truck, which there's a lot of you guys that do cook out on your truck, which is awesome. But you can also filter by no cooking equipment. So let's say you just got a fridge and you just want to throw some easy meals together. There's just some ideas for that. So yeah, and these are built by drivers and for drivers. So, you know, we get feedback from you guys, which we always love to get. So
Yep.
Yeah.
So as Rachel said too, right on that website, there's a megaphone at the very top says, let us know. That's a perfect place to click on that and say, hey, I tried a recipe. What about this? Look at that. If you guys have questions, that's another way to get in touch with us. Other thing is we're releasing now our podcast. So our podcast we're doing is Healthier Highway. We're just doing all kinds of health and fitness stuff on there, having some mental health, some issues on mental health. We're having other drivers on there. So again, that's another way to talk to us and say, hey, we'd love to hear about this on a podcast, those kinds of things. So also for some of you, you new drivers, we have 3 fitness centers in all 3 of our terminals. So if you're here, you can meet with Rachel, myself, or Johanna is our trainer here. We have Matt out in Salt Lake or Maria in Pittston and all of those places. So you let us know how to get in touch. Our office in Springfield's upstairs. So, okay, let us know what we can do to help. And we'll be downstairs during the meeting. So
thank you guys.
what is that? What is that?
This
Yes.
training
I'm a
camp,
Bronco
man.
fan, so that's, you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
You actually admitted that. You admitted you're a Bronco fan, really?
Yeah, I've been a Bronco fan for 40 years. Some of you, no, let's not get.
I don't, how did the games go last year against? All right, thank you guys. If anybody has any questions for Rachel or Colby, they're going to stick around. And if not, as they said, their office is up here, upstairs, back here in the corner. So feel free to hit them up. A lot of great programs going on.
There we go. Next, I think we have Summer Long from the company store. Wow, what did she bring
man.
up here? That's big stuff.
It is.
Now, a couple of weeks ago, you were up here and you had one of these, Dwayne and Darla had one of these, what they call?
Zen,
Here you go.
I had Zen clips and the drivers are absolutely loving them.
Yeah, I know Dwayne saying to keep the truck cooler, it definitely comes in handy, so.
Yes, every driver who's purchased it since has come back and reiterated how great it is and how much it's helping.
Now you got some bigger stuff, well, just as big. So what do you got this morning? Summer, go ahead.
This morning I have hub sets. They come in 2 colors, chrome and black. They are dome and spike for each variety. They range from $225 to $280. We thought with the picnic coming up and Pride and Polish, it would be a good idea. Maybe y'all be interested in something to make your truck a little more spruced up, or just in general, just because you wanted to do it. So.
All
Pretty
right.
nice.
Anything else? Now, we're talking about cameras and trucks. Now you sell them down here in the store. What brand do you sell? What do you
We sell Cobra. It is a 2-camera system, so you can stage it like to the outside of your truck, like down the side to catch anybody coming up next to you, front view. They're actually pretty nice. They continuously record. You can do it like where you can save automatically, however you'd like to work it.
Good deal. Any questions for Summer? I think she brought a couple of gifts, a couple of giveaways.
I did.
John, you have any trivia questions in mind? Here's one that somebody should get. What year was Prime founded? Anybody do research on it before you came here? Did you do research on the company? What year? Go ahead, sir. 1970. Yeah, all right. Give them what would you like, gloves or a shirt? Okay. If the gloves don't fit, stop on down here in the company store. You can exchange them out. So good job. 1970. You never come up with a trivia question, did you?
I didn't.
Okay. So I'll tell you what, let's use this one. This is out of the CDL manual. So that should be open to anybody in here. So how far out should you be looking when you're going down the road? What's the CDL manual tell you? Way back in the corner. Hold on one second. We're going to get you on the mic. We're going to make Bill walk.
12 to 15 seconds.
Bingo. Good job. What's your name, sir?
Evan,
Evan, where are you from?
Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston, Mass. What do you think of this so far?
It's pretty fun.
Pretty fun, just learning. All right. Well, congratulations. We got your shirt. If it doesn't fit, check in the company store. They got other sizes too. So congratulations, Evan. Welcome to Prime, man. That's awesome. Give him a round of applause. We've got one more. Are we giving away these? I mean, as I said, we could just bill them to Dennis, because Dennis tried to pull that on me a couple of weeks ago. He's going to take it out of my incentive, but we can, now Dennis isn't here. We can just take it out of his incentive. No, probably not. But no, I got to, he's my boss. I may not be around here too long if that happens. So water pick, is this going? Or are you going to?
I was just going to say
Okay.
something you may not realize the store has.
Okay, go ahead and talk about it.
So this is a water pick, a water flosser. They're really great. A lot of drivers' concerns are dental, and they're needing dental work quite often, and it makes it difficult. A water pick might be very nice to have to help ease maybe some of that stress while you're out there on the road. They are available, all 3 locations. They're pretty nice. Make it easy, load it up with water, just do it right there in the truck real fast if you can't get into somewhere, if you're like at a shipper overnight.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I use a water pick every night. I was one of these guys, I always brush my teeth twice a day, even floss. I went to the dentist, and he's like, man, you're missing all kinds of stuff. And he's like, I'm like, well, what can I do? He goes, you ever use a water pick? I'm like, no, that's what older people use. And he goes, well, you're starting to get up there in age. And I'm like, okay. So I bought a water pick. Ever since, I haven't had any problems. Yeah, they do come in handy, and they're good to use. Keep all that plaque out and other gums and stuff. So cleans out your teeth, and it feels better too at the end of it. So, but yeah.
I've got an online question.
Go ahead.
Summer, when will, or if we already do we have pocket t-shirts?
We do have some sizes available. We have around, Tiffany just ordered this week pocket tees. So they will be coming in a whole fresh round for all locations soon.
Perfect. Thank you.
Now, you got company stores, all 3 locations, right?
Yes, sir.
And what are the
Pittsburgh.
hours? What do you,
All 3 match Springfield now. So Monday through Friday, 7 to 7, Saturday, 9 to 5, and Sunday, 9 to 3.
man, 7 days a week. That's
7 days a
awesome.
week.
Yeah, that's great. Any questions for Summer? All right, let's give her a big round of applause. Thank you for coming up here.
Hey, Dave.
Who do we got next?
All right, well, we got good timings. We got a lot of new students here, so
Dave.
we're going to bring up Stan
Dave,
Casterkey.
Dave.
Oh, go ahead.
Time out.
Hey, Summer gave me a segue right into a topic that we didn't talk about when I was talking earlier. Company picnic. We got a company picnic coming up here in August 12th here in Pittston, Pennsylvania.
We do, and I think was it August 26th in Salt Lake, I believe. Aaron, do you know? Is Aaron out there? I know ours here, we have the truck driving championship September 1st and the picnic September 2nd. September 1st will be Friday night underneath the lights. By the way, I got Stan Casterkey up here, and Stan's going to help me set up the course this year, so he's volunteered, right?
You know what? Getting to work with you, it's a privilege.
Yeah.
So no matter
It's always
what,
interesting
I
out
would
there,
be
isn't it?
here.
Yeah, you better drive the truck and not me when we're
Well,
testing out this course.
We'll figure it out.
yeah, we'll get
It's all good. So
No, but Aaron, do we have you back on? Go ahead.
Yes, sir. You are correct. The 26th will be our picnic, and the night before that, on the 25th, we'll have our 1,000,000-mile and 10-year dinner.
Awesome. Good information. Yeah, good job, Rick. Thanks for bringing that up. We did forget that, omit that, but good information. So how you doing this morning, Stan?
I'm well.
How long
about
you been at Prime? You've been here a while.
August 2nd will be 13 years.
13 years. Time
Yeah.
flies, man, doesn't
Man,
it?
it does.
So-
It really does.
What do you
So-
got for us this morning?
Good morning. Well, good morning, everyone. Hey, so I had opportunity yesterday to spend some time out in Salt Lake City with the cool kids. That's what I call them while I'm out there. You know, our driver development program here at Prime is crucial to Prime. It's crucial to the growth of Prime. Got a lot of folks that are here that are waiting for instructors right now. You know, out in Utah, I had opportunity to meet 3 individuals yesterday. Who are just coming through our program. Thank you for choosing Prime for one thing. John, you know, thank you for choosing Prime. And I'm getting a little bit chills here as I was thinking about this, standing back there a minute ago. If you hadn't chosen Prime, you probably wouldn't have been in that location to help that individual do what you did. So thank you. You know, I say God works through us, whether we plan it or not, most of the time. I think that God had you in that specific location at that time for that reason. So thank you for what you do in your military service, but thank you for what you do to support our nation and our highways as well. So let's give John another round of applause too. Thank you. So driver development, you know, I was looking at our profit summaries. Teams make more money. They do. That's a fact. If you've ever considered being an instructor or trainer, continue to consider that. Talk to your fleet manager. You can come and talk to me. You know, there's been a lot of rhetoric on social media. I always say Facebook is not your friend. You can't necessarily believe everything that Facebook tells you, right? Really, you can't really believe anything that Facebook tells you because it's everyone's opinion. So if you're eligible, if you have at least 6 months of driving experience here at Prime, you're eligible to be a TNT trainer, okay? Now, we have some vetting processes that we have to go through. We're going to look at your net fuel cost. We're going to look at how you deliver freight on time. We're going to look at your accidents. Critical events. So there's a lot of things that we look at to make sure that we're bringing the best in to train the best. On the PSD side of it, so those are people who have a permit or working to get their CDL. That individual, by Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration regulations, has to have a minimum of 2 years of commercial driving experience, whether that's a Prime or another trucking company. You have to have had a CDL for 2 years, but I want to make sure that you have driving experience. There have been people who have had a CDL for 20 years, but they've never driven over the road or they've never had that opportunity to actually drive a big truck and trailer. So those are part of the things that we're looking at. Don't believe the rhetoric that social media presents, you know. And I know Mr. Whitkey's going to be up here in a little bit, and Robert will be up here probably talking about the freight network and how things are going. It's been tough times. I've been in trucking almost 33 years. Trucking is so cyclical that we're either here or here. And last year we were really here, and this year we're here. But I can promise you that our nation needs us. Our nation needs you to support us. Do you remember when there was no toilet paper on the shelves? Anybody remember that? Who brought that? It was our industry that brought that to those stores. So consider it. If you've never considered it, please consider it. If you're eligible for that, talk to your fleet manager. I'll be here after the meeting if you have any questions. There are some new testing standards that are going to be coming into play. That's not a Prime deal. That's a federal deal as well. I won't get into that right now, but if you have any questions about that, feel free to contact me. David Meinecke's over here this morning as well. Dave works in the driver training area. Dee is back there in the corner. She will have the privilege to work with her and David both over in the driver training development over in the plaza. So come over there, see us sometime. If you have any questions, we are more than happy to answer those questions for you. So I appreciate our PA and our Salt Lake City folks and what they do to support our new drivers coming in as well. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention them as well. So thank you for what you do. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Now, Stan, to be a CDL instructor training at PSD, how much experience do you have in order to qualify for that?
Sure. So you have to have 2 years of commercial driving experience. So like I said a minute ago, you may have had a CDL for 20 years, but if you've never used that for commercial driving experience, we want you to have that experience before we have you teaching the new folks coming in. So, okay. Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate you all. Have a great day.
Thanks, Stan.
Thank you, Stan. So we're going to tag on to what Stan was talking about. We're going to bring up one of our refrigerated fleet managers for a different perspective here. We're going to bring up Ryan Blankenships. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning.
So how long have you been a fleet manager here at Prime before you get started?
I've been at Prime for 12 years now, fleet manager for about 11, on the lease side for about 9.
Perfect. So you've done company and lease here.
Yeah, I had a company fleet, I guess, for about a year, and then transferred to lease. Spent a little bit of time in Salt Lake City for a couple of years, and then been back in Springfield now for 7 years, I guess.
Outstanding. What do you got for us this morning?
I just want to piggyback some off of what Stan's been talking about, more or less from my perspective. But first of all, I see a lot of PSDs in the room. I want to address you guys first. First of all, thank you for being here. You guys everybody's made the right decision by coming here, by looking to get your CDL here. It's not just a job, it's a career, it's a lifestyle. So first of all, welcome aboard, and round of applause again for you guys being here. Do we have any current active trainers, instructors in the room? Just show of hands. Got a handful. I assume there's some out in PA, Salt Lake City watching as well, and hopefully some of you guys that are out on the road as well. Once again, thank you so much for what you do for all of us. Not only looking to give back to the trucking industry, giving back to Prime, teaching the next generation of individuals, but of course, you're also helping yourself financially, your business, helping those at home as well. Once again, thank you guys as well. Talking a little bit about earnings, earnings are holding pretty steady overall. As a trainer, instructor, or as a trainer, TNT trainer, it's about $1,600 more per week compared to solo operation. If that's something that might be attractive to you, please, by all means, reach out to your fleet manager. Stan mentioned some of the requirements as far as, expectations, miles per gallon, net fuel costs, speeds, how you operate, accidents, service, those types of things. Teams and trainers, it's a huge part of our continued development here at Prime. We're going to have it to survive, ultimately, for training the new generation of individuals. Our team network is huge. It's huge to our customers. It's huge to us. It's huge to everybody. A lot of these customers, these produce shippers, these pharmaceutical companies, they require team transit. We've got close to 1,000 teams out on the road.
right now today. That number fluctuates over time, but there's a lot of trucking companies out there, and a lot of our competition, they don't have 1,000 trucks, period. And we've got 1,000 teams. It's very, very powerful with our customer base. Yeah, that's something definitely to be proud of. I'm sure Wiki would be able to address that more here in a little bit, but at the end of the day, our customers need us. They need us now. They need us when freight's good, when freight's bad. In the middle of COVID, they need us all the time. Training is a really huge part of that. It's never too early to start that conversation with your fleet manager. Hey, my career path is I want to be a trainer one day. Maybe that's in 6 months, maybe that's 2 years down the road. Even as a PSD right now today, if you've got experience training in your previous job or whatever it might be, it's never too early to say, hey, fleet manager, this is something that I might be interested in moving forward. Same thing, if we've got any upgrades that are here, getting your truck for the first time, part of the conversation with your fleet manager needs to be, hey, these are my expectations. My expectations is that I want to be a trainer in 6 months. What do I need to do to make that happen? You know, your fleet manager is your business partner. You know, what you want, they want, it's what I want. You know, we can help make that happen. Lastly, real quick, I just want to touch on service, safety service, always huge thing here at Prime. OTIF, on time and full. You guys probably are getting annoyed with the amount of messages and phone calls that you're getting and seeing out there. Here's the thing, it makes a difference. Walmart's tough to work with, on time and full. I get it, okay? But it is making a difference from the service side. We are able to book more freight because we've got such a high level of service. We're consistently over 99% on time service in those situations. And that is something that we appreciate. I think that's all I got, John.
All right. So does anybody have any questions for Ryan real quick while he's up here? I've got something for you, sir. So show of hands here in the room, everybody, whether this is your first Friday morning safety meeting or you've been here 20 years, how many people here came in here with no trucking experience before you came to Prime? So there's a lot, majority of the hands are up in the room. So from a fleet manager perspective, talk about how powerful that training aspect is and that relationship that's built with a new student coming in here and how that continues on to keep their business successful and remain profitable here at Prime.
You know, we of course we do the majority of our training in-house. You know, even myself, I didn't have any trucking experience prior to coming here, and really that's the way I like it. You know, you learn from the ground up the Prime way. It's a successful business model that we've had in place for years, and you know, just kind of lean towards your fleet manager, weekend coverage dispatch, night dispatch, anybody who it might be, a previous trainer. You know, everybody wants your best interest at heart, and just continue learning.
Outstanding.
Yes, sir. Ryan, I'm curious, how many trucks are on your board?
I've got 110 as of today.
Okay, so what is it that is the key to success for those operators working with, you said that you're a business partner, so could you just share what you think is the most important attributes to that success?
Most important attribute is just, I think it's the education piece of it. If you don't know, ask, right? Approach every situation with an open mind. You know, my job's not necessarily say to be your best friend, it's your business partner, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to be honest. You know, if I can be honest about market conditions or, hey, about this load, hey, this isn't the best, but you know, you're going to the Midwest, you're going to the meat patch, that's where you want to be. I think it's the education piece behind it, because you know, you cannot put a dollar figure on that education and how that'll impact your business for years to come.
So one other thing before you go, Ryan, what pleases you the most when you work with these operators? What is the key for you as far as their success?
I guess probably the one thing that continues to get me up every morning and showing up, it's a lot of you folks that have came from your darkest days, and you can come here as a PSD with $0 in your pocket, and maybe a couple years or a year down the road, you can be working on purchasing your own truck. It's getting out of debt. It's buying that first house or buying multiple houses, rental properties. It's those success stories of coming from nothing and building your own empire.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it very
Thanks.
much.
All
Thanks,
right.
everybody.
Thank you very much. And I will say, from a fleet manager perspective, it's really neat to hear those stories and see transformations with folks that are here at Prime. So what do we have next?
It is. So, this time of year, we're fighting the heat, and obviously our refrigeration units and our reefer trailers are fighting that too. So thought it'd be a good idea to bring up Doug Tan this morning. He's got a couple of our vendors with him. So go ahead and introduce him, buddy.
All right. Good morning, everybody. First off, thank you for what you all do out there, sacrificing your time away from your family. Renee, what's up, man? How are you? Yeah, we just appreciate what you're doing, and we're here to help you, support you. These are a couple of our on-site reps. We have plenty of them back there, too. We have Peterbilt, Freightliner. Let's give all these guys a round of applause for what they do for us. Yeah, they're awesome guys. So I got Philip here with Thermo King. He's going to talk about some issues most common issues we have during the summer with his units. We also have Andy Bell with Carrier. So they're going to cover some issues that they have on their units as well to help reduce some of these claims. I do want to say, I'll say it before this conversation and I'll say it afterwards, we have an emergency line for Road Assist. So whenever you call in a Road Assist between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. every day, you have an emergency line. So if you're broken down on the side of the highway or interstate, call us. If your reefer's acting up and you might lose your load, call us. We're going to walk you through that. We're going to answer those calls 100% of the time within 20 seconds. So we're here to help you. Make sure we got those safety triangles and stuff deployed properly. So make sure you call us if you're running any issues. Go ahead, Philip.
Hey, good morning, everybody. On the Thermo King units, it's just pretty much the same. It's very important to do a pre-trip. That's all I can say. Pre-trip. Before you back under that trailer, look for physical damage. You want to look at those condensers. Everything's plastic anymore. So our condensers on Thermo King are on the sides. So you want to look for any upper damage up there because that plastic can be pushed in and pops back out and we got some damage. Before you run a pre-trip, make sure you check for alarms. If there is some alarms present, it will not run the pre-trip. It'll throw a code 28. Okay. So we want to be sure to clear those codes. Take a picture of them if you have to. So clear them. If there is an issue, they will come back. Again, physical damage, not only on the outside of the trailer, but the inside of the trailer. Look for rear door seals. Every trailer has 4 drain holes in the corners. Want to be sure if you see cold air coming out, look under there, see if that kazoo is missing, okay? Because we're just pouring cold air out of there. But that's about all I got, unless anybody's got any questions for me.
Anyone have any Thermo King questions specifically? It's different how you set your IntelliSets with a Thermo King compared to a Carrier.
Yeah,
Right? You want to kind of touch on that real quick?
Yes, we do. You have to pick the product, okay? On a Thermo King, after you pick that product, the screen will say programming new product. Then the screen will pop up and it'll say, do you want to change set point? Yes or no. So if you do not pick yes or no, you're going to get a code. Okay. It's going to throw a code 127 set point not entered. So if you're probably going to see that a lot, but just remember, if you're changing it manually, look for that, wait for that screen, hit the yes or no, and you'll be good to go.
All right. No questions for Philip, huh? Perfect. Andy, you want to pick it up?
Sure. So pretty much everything he said, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, the Carrier units, obviously we have more of those in the fleet right now. But the one thing that I will definitely address on those, the condenser coils area, make sure that when you're hooking up to the unit, climb up on your catwalk, actually check look at that condenser coil. That condenser coil is basically the radiator on your truck. So if it's not getting air, it's not going to be able to do its job. So it's very, very important to make sure that it's clean, that it's not damaged. So that, all the damage is very, very important for your pre-trip. Make that part of your pre-trip cycle. Look at that reefer unit. I know a majority of our drivers just walk around the truck. And I've had trainers tell me in the past before that the reefer unit, is not that important. It is. I mean, if you're in the reefer fleet, that's obviously a big, big deal. So make sure you're inspecting those. And setting the IntelliSets very important. If you're not sure how to set the IntelliSets, come find one of the guys in the shop, come find me, come find one of the Road Assist guys. We'll walk you through on actually how to set the IntelliSets. It's very important to make sure that you're in the proper IntelliSet based on that load assignment and make sure it matches up. If it's missing IntelliSets, whatever the case may be, we need to get those trailers captured and get them fixed. So, has anybody got any questions? I'm betting Paul Higgins does because he has the mic in his hand.
I do, but I'll let everybody else. Anybody else got a question for these guys?
Anyone else?
Hey,
I'm telling you.
yeah, we do want to bring up the pro maintenance
Yeah.
class. So if you need help with IntelliSets, that's pro maintenance class does cover that kind of stuff.
Good. Hey, I got two things though. And I wish, does anybody have any questions or suggestions on refrigeration on hauling loads that might be helpful to any new people? Here we go. Good. That's what we need. Come on.
Question in Piston, Pennsylvania.
So I have a question or suggestion. It's a little bit more towards Prime, but right now we are seeing a lot of our belts getting a lot of cracks in them and stuff like that. And, when you pull in the bays, that's what they're looking for and they're replacing them. And I asked if I could get a spare belt on the truck in case it breaks, after my 12th hour in the middle of the night at a rest area, and they're like, no, we can't give you have to pay for it. And I was like, well, why don't they give us at least have a spare belt on us? Is that something that Prime can maybe do for people that did go through pro maintenance class?
Well, I got the answer for that. The reason we don't do that is because I kept getting free belts, but I sell them on eBay. And so I'd get like 30 belts before Robert finally caught on. So I'm like, dang, that gig's over with. No, that's a good idea. Well, some of you guys we can trust will do that. If you can't trust like Dwayne here, we'd never give him a belt. Okay, go ahead. I think there's a question up in PA there. Go ahead, Rich.
Hey, Doug, what are we doing with this issue with these ABS lights going on? And I notice a lot of them we can't get fixed because there's either no parts available, but there's way too many of this going on with these ABS lights, and we know it's a DOT violation. Be coming up with a fix with this thing, or because?
Buddy, that's not a reefer question, man. You're going to have to wait till next week when we address ABS lights. You're trying to change the subject on us.
There's way too many of it going on, and then a lot of them are just letting them go and unplugging them.
Yeah, so what we found in the shop, we did do a big study. What we found was a lot of the tone rings are going bad. So whenever you have whenever you get a heavy turn and the ABS needs to engage, it'll pick up any issues. And we're having a large problem with corrosion on the tone rings. So a lot of times, over the road, we can't fix these. It's going to need to come into one of our terminals, more than likely, to get a hub replaced. So every ABS light that comes on as we're bringing them through the plaza, we're writing up every single one of them to get fully identified and get fixed, so we don't have those same issues. But I'm sure there's several hundred trailers that need to be fixed, buddy. But we're working on that.
Hey, let me plug in real quick if you guys don't care. My suggestion. How about anybody else that's got a reefer question or an APU issue? I got about 2 or 3 things. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No real question, but just for all the new guys, I find if I'm on a frozen load and I'm heading into like LA, you going in the valley, your coils will freeze up. If you do a defrost a couple times, it'll fix your issue.
Come on.
Yeah, run.
Yeah, that was my suggestion. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, manual defrost. You guys, you can run a manual defrost anytime and it doesn't hurt. And so what we're talking about here is, remember the reefer unit, it's just trying to pull moisture out of the trailer. And so it recirculates all the air, only the air in the trailer. Doesn't get any fresh air from anywhere. But what happens is that warm or that moist air attaches to the coil in the front of the trailer, and the coil is really cold. It looks like a radiator. But what it does is it freezes on that coil in the front. And so a manual defrost turns on a heater grid in that, well, kind of. But anyway, it heats up that coil and it melts, and that's what the water is that comes out the front. So if you find that your reefer isn't cooling what it should, you can just hit a couple of manual defrosts. Takes about 15 minutes, but boy, you'll see some water pouring. And the time to stop doing manual defrosts is when it doesn't dump any more water out, because then the coil is dry or all the ice is melted and it's already drained out the front. So I appreciate you bringing that up. That's awesome.
Yeah,
One thing I thought.
Let me add to that real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
On the two drain frost tubes are underneath the reefer unit. They come out on the front of the trailer. If you do a defrost cycle and you do not get water, check to make sure they're not backed up. you'll get debris up in those. There's kazoos at the end of them, which is the little rubber pieces that flatten out, that don't allow the air to go back up in there. Squeeze them. Okay. I suggest standing back if you squeeze them, because if there's stuff up in there, you're going to get 10 gallons of water out on your feet. But don't be, and that's one of the first things you need to check if it's going through a defrost cycle and you're not seeing water, make sure that's cleared out. And that's one of those things you can do on your pre-trip also, just make sure there's nothing backed up in there.
That's good. Since I made fun of Dwayne, he's got a question now.
Okay, I was at Tyson just the other day, like a week or so ago, and my temperature was supposed to be -5. I picked up the trailer at like 7, 8 degrees, and it literally took like 2 days to get it to just a -2 because of the 95 outside, 100 degrees.
Yeah.
But I mean, -2, -5, it never did reach the -5 shut off for the miscellaneous frozen, but
Yeah, and there's a couple of things that can cause that. Some of it can be your temperature, the temperature of the product on it. We used to be able to get on the dock and do pulp temperature checks and stuff and actually truly check the temperature of that product. That's huge, guys. That's the number one thing that gets us into cargo claims, is not knowing what that product temperature is at. So very, very important that we check that stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, one other thing too, Andy, because this is exactly what I wanted to talk about. And I'm kind of surprised nobody brought this up. Okay, you guys, we've had a big problem, and maybe you mentioned it earlier in the meeting, that you got to check the back of the trailer, check inside your trailer. You can't just pick up an empty trailer and think everything's cool. It may have a pallet or two of product left in it from some other knothead who didn't look inside the back doors. As a matter of fact, we got a trailer out here in the parking lot. Somebody left a pallet jack in, and like 4 days later, we found out, the guy goes, "Hey, where's my pallet jack? It's in the back of our trailer." We picked it up and no one looked. But you don't want to be the person who leaves product in the back of the trailer. You don't want to be the person who finds product in the back of the trailer. But here's what happens on this airflow. You'll get a bunch of cellophane that gets sucked up in the back. Remember, I told you that the reefer unit just circulates that air. If it sucks up a bunch of cellophane and cardboard or any kind of plastics, that'll block that whole airflow, and that's why you won't get good return air temps. You maybe not able to pre-cool. So just those things. And then one last thing, if you can find a water hose, it never hurts to wash off the condenser on the front of the trailer or on your APU unit. So wash your radiators on your APU units. That'll help them cool off a lot. Thank you guys for all you do. I appreciate all the comments, even the ones that you didn't bring up, but it was great that we're able to talk about this stuff.
I want to end it on the emergency line again. If you're having reefer issues or you're broken down on the side of the highway and you don't feel safe, call Road Assist option 1. Let us help you, okay? Thank you all.
All right, big round of applause for Doug, Andy, and Phil. A lot of good information going there, man.
That was a lot of good information.
So who you got next?
We're going to bring up the big guys now.
There we go. Let's
We're
do
going to
it.
bring up Mr. Steve Woodke here. Give him a round of applause this morning.
Thank you. Thanks, John. It's really the Paul Higgins show. I like it. He's passionate about our business and our customers and our drivers. So that's really great information. And it's a tough time right now with the temperatures where they are. We're all in it together. We got to protect the product. Part of service is delivering it on time, but at the right temperature, all in full. So that's just part of the gig right now. And there is nothing easy about what's going on with this temperature. So continue to monitor it, watch it. Man, you've heard from some of our people. We're blessed. We got a lot of good ones. Ryan Blankenship, a fleet manager, but just one of like 45 or 50 that we have that are really, as he said, business partners that does in fact care about your success and is just joined at the hip with him. So please remember this, you new folks, don't be a victim. Always ask. If you have a question, always ask. Ask your fleet manager, speak to whomever you need. That's what we're all about, transparency. You should always be able to get a hold of who you need to speak with. If you don't have your fleet manager's cell phone, I say get it. He'll give it to you. He needs to hear from you when you got a problem. It's just part of the job. We're all in it together 24/7. So thank you all very much, you new folks, for joining us. We think you've made a really good decision. We talked a little bit about business. It is a tougher market, to say the very least, but we're seeing some trends and some things that are looking much better for us. There was a major logistics company that is low price, not low cost. do about 135 million, competed in many of the bids with our Fortune 500 companies, and they just bottomed out the pricing. Well, guess what? They filed a chapter on Monday. So they are leaving about, what did it say, 5,000 owner operators hanging out for about $12 million that they haven't paid. So it just takes time to work through some of this low pricing, this bid process that we go through. I think our customers recognize at some point there is a huge delta between low price and low cost. So just hang in there with us. Our strategy is very simple. We're going to move you to the freight. It might be some deadhead miles, but it's the best thing that we can do at that point in time. So bear with us. Trust what your fleet manager's doing. Trust what your company's doing. We've done this a little while. The question was, when did we start? 1970. We've been through the ups and downs. We've been through the cycles. We went through a tremendous up cycle the last couple of years. Now we're a bit of the down cycle. We'll get through it. Just get it out. Do your thing. Safety first. Pick it up and deliver it on time, in full. Smile. Please. It's not doom and gloom around here. You read a lot of stuff. You hear a lot of stuff on Facebook. Let it go. Talk to your fleet manager. He'll keep you straight. He'll give you good information. If he doesn't, I want you to call this guy right here who's coming up here, because he'll straighten it now. Come on up here, Robert. Here's the guy that started this thing. Got us through a couple of tough cycles. He'll get us through this one too.
Dang, man.
Go ahead.
You talk almost as much as Higgins. You know, it's beautiful when Higgins gets a microphone, because I know then I'm not going to have a lot, have to talk a lot, because, he's going to use up all the time. He just sucks all the air out of the room. And no, Paul is very knowledgeable. He is very passionate, certainly a key player here, been here for years and years. I mean, it seems like an eternity. Just time just goes by slow around Paul. You know what I'm saying? Things just kind of slow down. But it's good to see you all this morning. Appreciate you being here. You picked a good company for you new folks. And for you folks that have been around a while, man, do we appreciate you. You've been delivering the freight. It's been tough. You've been grinding it out. And, all in all, we're doing pretty good. And we do see some signs, as Steve mentioned, of things kind of bottoming out, maybe bouncing along the bottom. And it's not because the shipper's demand is picked up. It's really because capacity, it's supply and demand, right? Demand is not necessarily good. And the prospects from what we're getting aren't particularly positive. But the capacity, folks, you're grinding them down. You're just outperforming them. You're delivering better. You're more efficient. You're more productive. And you're just wearing them out. And guess what happens to those operators? They can't compete on those metrics. When they can't deliver, they're gone. Their trucks get recycled through the used truck market, and it leaves. And that's really, unfortunately, my heart goes out to those people, but doggone it, if you're going to compete with the prime, you better lace them up. You know what I'm saying? You better lace them up tight, because it's tough. Folks, again, I appreciate what you do. If I can be of any service to you, let me know. God bless each of you. Be safe out there.